Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, SunshinehazeCo. I am Aja A. This is not a moon video like you guys are used to. This is actually a part of the retrograde series. I wanted to get these retrograde videos up like months ago, but I just didn't get around to doing it. But we've still got a couple of months left in this particular retrograde period, so I wanted to get it up while the energy was still happening, while it's still popping for us. This video is on the Pluto Retrograde in Capricorn. It started in April 24th, and it is going to end on October 2nd, so it is spanning over 6 months. And Pluto is going to be in Capricorn until 2024, so we're dealing with Pluto and Capricorn energy for the long haul right now. And Pluto is an outer planet. It's actually the furthest planet, so it moves the slowest. So we're dealing with Pluto in Capricorn energy for the next few years, and we have been for the past couple of years, I believe. And we deal with the retrograde in Pluto once a year. So this time around it is happening from April to October, okay? It started in 23 degrees and it's going to be ending on Wednesday the 2nd of October in 20 degrees. So it's moving over 3 degrees, which is very interesting with this being a 3-year. And I'll talk about the numerology a little bit later in the video, but that just goes to show how all of this stuff ties together. Pluto is thought to be exalted in the sign of Capricorn, so it's thought to be a really good placement for this planet. So we'll be dealing with, you know, very positive shift in regards to our own personal lives, and very major shifts. And again, this is an outer planet, so it doesn't affect us like our personal planets like Mercury that fucks everything up, or like, you know, Venus that you really feel in the present and in your physical, but it does have a very, very strong pull on major transformation in our lives. That is what Pluto governs. Going into that, Pluto governs transformation and change. It also governs power and authority. Also our spirituality and, you know, major life things, instances, experiences. It is happening in the sign of Capricorn this year, and Capricorn, shout out to my cats, are associated with stability. They are also associated with authority and power, practicality, determination, also with vices. Capricorn, very, very determined, also very business minded. So with Pluto being in retrograde, we're looking at reflecting and correcting on our process and on changes that need to take place in our lives and on the changes that have taken place in our lives. We're also going to be reflecting and correcting on the relationships with our personal power and our own transformation during this time, and also with how we are perceived and how we'd like to be perceived by the world. And I'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. Pluto is, again, talking about the sign of transformation and our personal transformation. So this retrograde being the reflect and correct season, and it being in Capricorn, and looking at how we build things up and how we like to be and how we want our energy to move. This course of 6 months, you're really going to be looking at and really analyzing yourself, really looking at what you consider to be your faults, looking at what you consider to be your strengths, also looking at what you consider to be important instances and important experiences that you need to learn from, or that you've grown from, and how they are lending knowledge and lending, like I said, experience into what you've got coming up now and coming up in the future in these next few years while Pluto is still in Capricorn, okay? We're also, because Pluto is a sign of transformation, but we're dealing with Capricorn, which can be sometimes on the shadow side of pessimistic energy, we're going to be looking at the restrictions on our authority and our power. And they cut grass like every 2 days. The grass don't grow that fast, but I'm not ending the video, so I apologize for the noise in the background. It sounds like they're moving around pretty quickly, so hopefully they'll just be passing by. But anyways, what I mean when I say seeing the restrictions on our power, we're really going to be looking at how we've been using our energy, how we've been spending our energy, how we've been sending it out, and how we've been lending it to other people in other situations. Looking at, is the energy that we're putting into the things that we going on, pretty much, is it worth it? Like, is this, what I'm doing, is what I'm giving my energy to actually worth it? Does this help me? Does this benefit me in any way in regards to the goals that I have set for myself? So these 6 months that we're dealing with Pluto in retrograde in Capricorn, you guys could be working a job and be like, okay, well, this is what I really want to do, but I'm doing this here and I'm putting all my energy into this. Is it worth it? Is me doing this over here helping me over here? Some of you guys may be in relationships and may be like, okay, well, this is the outcome that I see from this relationship, or this is the type of relationship that I want to be in, but I'm putting energy into making it look like this, or I'm putting energy into this certain aspect of it, but is this really helping me out over here? Is this relationship restrictive? Is this holding me back? You know what I'm saying? So things like that are going to be popping up for us from April on to October, and then a little bit in the shadow period. So things are really going to start shifting, and you'll see and feel the change and the shift and the transformation for real when Pluto goes direct, especially once we come out of the shadow period, which will be towards the end of October. What else do I got here? Excuse me, y'all. Okay, all right. So I said this a little bit earlier. Pluto is the furthest planet in the solar system, and they tried to play Pluto and they tried to say it's not a planet. They call it a dwarf planet, but listen, Pluto got major energy and it devotes a lot of it into our lives. So with Pluto being the Pluto being the planet that deals with transformation in the different processes in our lives, we are really looking at shifting, or looking at understanding what needs to shift in order for us to really come into these spaces and come into the success and that Capricorn energy of these foundations that we've been trying to build, and seeing them really grow and seeing ourselves really be in alignment with that. I also wanted to briefly talk a little bit about the sex aspect. So Pluto is actually associated with Scorpio. Scorpio rules the planet of Pluto, but although we have this Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, Pluto is still associated with that sexual Scorpio energy. So for a lot of us, and I just wanted to put this out here because a friend of mine, or should I call him a friend? I call him an old fling. He is my friend, but I need to charge that. But we are not involved currently. I was talking to him the other day, and he was just telling me how he is celibate and how he doesn't want to be having sex with. He said he didn't want to be having meaningless sex, and I completely understand that. I get that. So with this Pluto aspect coming in, and with it being in retrograde in Capricorn, for a lot of us, we're going to be looking at our sexuality and how we are dealing with our with our intimacy. So for example, you know, major transformation, major change. I don't know what he's been doing. But you know, maybe he's been out there tossing it and he's just not been feeling connected in his endeavors. And so now with this Pluto retrograde energy coming in, he's saying, okay, I want to have an intimate connection. I want to have this type of connection when I have sex. So this is what I'm going to do in order for me to get to that point, right? Some of you may be in a space to where you're not having orgasms. You might be like, nobody's getting me there. I'm not getting there. So during the retrograde, you might be really thinking about, okay, what really gets my gears going? What really turns me on? What type of people, what type of energy puts me in that space to where I really feel good when I'm having sex? Some of you guys might be feeling like you want to be abstinent. You might, and not for no, and I don't, you know, live your best life, do what you want to do. Some of you guys might just be feeling like, okay, either for spiritual reasons or for birth control reasons, or you've been watching The Handmaid's Tale like myself, and you're just like, you know what, I don't want to do this right now. And that is coming in with that Pluto energy. And everything happens for a reason. Everything shifts for a reason. Energy is so funny. It's Leo season. And my dad's a Leo, my mama's a Leo. Her birthday was yesterday. My dad's birthday is coming up, and we just came off of the Capricorn eclipse. And I was talking about in that video how my dad was gonna be lit and be on my line, and oh my gosh, he done called me like 3 times in the last hour. And so funny, when I talked to him earlier, I told him I hadn't gotten around to writing out my goals for my year. My birthday's in June. And he gonna tell me, well, in your goals, put home bringing home a grandbaby. And then he gonna call and interrupt me when I'm trying to kick game to y'all about this Plutonian energy and how it affects our sex lives. And I'm like, listen, Dad, I heard you. You want a grandkid. Pump them Leo brakes. Calm all that fire down. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Anyways, as I was saying, everything happens for a reason. Whatever shifts are happening in your sex lives are happening because your energy needs to shift in a certain way, or certain things need to change for you in order to put you in that space of, you know, being content and being happy and really living your best life, okay? On a wider scale, I do like to talk a little bit about how the retrogrades affect us as a whole, as a collective in society. With Pluto being the planet that deals with power and authority, on a wider scale, we're in this being a time of retrograde, and Capricorn being the sign of, you know, really getting shit together. We're going to be seeing those in power, especially corrupt people in power, really starting to see them become exposed, and really starting to see people either wanting to or moving towards finding ways to break down that authority for those people. Trump. Are we in impeachment territory yet or not? We've been in impeachment territory. That's all I gotta say. Why is he still president? Anyways, so going on back into Pluto retrograde, because I could talk to y'all about politics for hours on end. This retrograde started in 23 degrees. 2 is the number associated with harmony, with balance, with peace, and with cohesiveness. And 3 is the number, again, going back into that 3 energy, the number associated with community, creativity, and communication, and also bringing things together. And so with this being a Pluto retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, we're really going to be looking at ourselves and the way that we perceive ourselves on the outside, and the way that we want other people to perceive us, and getting that into alignment with the truest version of ourselves, really transforming the way that we function on the inside so that it reflects on the outside, and that we're comfortable with ourselves and our places in this world. 5, this 23 breaks down into 5, which is the number of change and transformation, which kind of amplifies the energy of this retrograde, being that this is the planet associated with those energies. So with that being said, all those things I mentioned earlier about, you know, getting into this sense of self to where you feel like you belong and where you're comfortable with yourself, and then also really looking at, you know, the restrictions on what you've been wanting to do, and how you've been held back, or how you've been stopping yourself. This energy coming in is saying, no, really, once you recognize that stuff, all of it's gonna change, and it's gonna change for the better. Like I said, once Pluto goes direct, you're really gonna start seeing these changes take place for you in the physical. This retrograde started on a 4-day, which is the number associated with foundations, and really making those foundations firm and building upon them, and planning and manifestation and things of that sort. So really becoming stable, or really seeing how we can become stable in that best version of that we're starting to realize of ourselves, okay? So the retrograde is ending in 20 degrees, going back to the energy of the number 2, and that is amplified by the 0 attached to it. So really, again, this is just all about bringing yourself into alignment with the best version of yourself, what you believe that is, and also making that best version of yourself with what people see, and who people understand you to be, okay? So all of that being said, we've got 6 months to really look at, okay, what do we want life to look like, and who do we truly and honestly want to be, and how do we get to that point? And once Pluto goes direct, baby, it's gonna be lit, I tell you, especially with all these Capricorn aspects happening in the cosmos. We're really building ourselves up, setting our lives up for success in these next few years, okay? On the shadow side, talk about it a little bit, like to talk about the shadow side of the retrograde so you guys are prepared. We may be feeling a little restricted again. Pluto is the last planet in the solar system, so it's like it's the end. So we may be feeling a little restricted, maybe feeling like there is no means to it and there is no way for us to actually get to that point that we would like to be in, as opposed to being here on the other side of the glass. It's like there's a glass window sometimes and you can see clearly through it, but it's like you can't touch it. But that is just the shadow aspect of the Pluto retrograde. That's not going to be the whole time, and for sure that's going to be something that you're going to be reflecting on and seeing, okay, why is this glass here, how do I break through it? Pluto, just a little bit, might be feeling a little paranoid about the things that you've got going on, especially if it's good shit. You might be like, oh, this is too good to be true, or this is too good to last, or something's gonna happen. But try not to think like that. Remember that our thoughts and our words are very powerful. So if you attach a negative energy to something, it may turn out in the physical with a negative outcome, okay? What else do I got? Maybe feeling a little hesitant to change, with this being the planet of change. You may be feeling like, I don't want to change, especially with that Capricorn energy. Capricorn is stubborn and Capricorn is a creature of habit. You may really be feeling like, I see through that little glass window and I'm good over here on this side. But again, if change is coming in for you, don't be resistant to it. Go on and go along with it. Roll with the punches, okay? In order for shit to be different, you got to do different shit. And what else do I got here? That's it. Those are all my notes for the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. I don't understand. Like, all them phone calls. Mercury, calm your ass down. Mercury and Leo, calm your ass down. I do have retrograde readings up. I'm doing a sale. I've got my Etsy link down below. You can get a retrograde reading on any planet currently in retrograde, including Pluto. And the Pluto retrograde looks at the transformation and things of that sort. And I also have eclipse readings on sale as well. I will be doing those readings through the end of the summer. So if you're interested in learning about transformation, the eclipses and this Pluto retrograde kind of go hand in hand. If you're interested, I've got those readings linked down below. Can't talk. Mercury, calm down. And that's it, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I will see y'all next time. Peace.